adventure man, Ron Spellman. Thanks for joining me as I fill my life with adventure and show you how to do it too. Right now we're driving south on Route 7 from Youngstown, East Liverpool, Ohio. This is the same road that was driven in 1934 by notorious gangster Pretty Boy Floyd when he was on the run from the police. We're headed right now to find some historical sites relating to his final moments and the furious gunfight that ended in his death. Charles Pretty Boy Floyd, wanted for bank robbery and the murder of police officers across the Midwest, implicated in the infamous Kansas City Massacre in which 4 lawmen were gunned down, and after the death of John Dillinger in 1934, Floyd was on the run as public enemy number 1. Fleeing from Buffalo, New York, his car skidded off the road near East Liverpool, Ohio on a rainy night. Left to wander the hills on foot, he sought food and assistance from local farmsteads. Not much has changed since 1934. Many of these farmhouses that are all separated and isolated is very much similar to the way it was 74 years ago. It was easy for an outlaw on the run, a desperado, to find someone to feed him and clothe him, get a little bit of warmth and shelter from the rain, and a moment's rest from the relentless pursuit of the G-men behind him. After 48 hours of being on the run, on foot, cold, wet, tired, and hungry, Pretty Boy Floyd finally ended up here at the Conkle's farm. After snatching meals wherever he could from farmers' houses, he was finally taken in for the moment by Ellen Conkle and fed what he described to be a meal fit for a king. But then, just as he was catching a ride off the property to go north to Youngstown, Melvin Purvis and his G-men pulled onto the property, and a chase ensued. And on this very piece of land, is where Pretty Boy Floyd met his end. It's easy to imagine the G-men crunching their way up, speeding up this gravel road. Just as they leapt out of the car, Floyd saw them, and they saw him almost instantly. One of the deputies yelled, "That's him!" and the chase began, right off through the field. So there's still a faint impression where the barn must have been. I don't know if you can still see a light green patch where the foundation was. But the field where he took off and where they chased him is right beyond. Floyd was hiding behind a combine right next to the barn. Purvis and the other G-men yelled to him to come out or they would start shooting. He did come out, but he kept running, waving his gun at them, and they didn't hesitate. He went down amidst a hail of gunfire, shotgun blasts, Tommy gun fire, even handgun shots. They saw his right hand fly up just as he was coming up over the crest, and he went down on his left side. As he lay there on his left side, bleeding profusely from 2 severe gunshot wounds, the police wrenched the gun from his hand. Melvin Purvis himself kicked it out of the way as they held their guns on him, and first made sure that it was Pretty Boy Floyd, and then they asked him, "Were you involved with the Kansas City Massacre?" Finally trying to solve the mystery. Well, I'm not going to say on camera what he told them to do with themselves, but he went out defiantly with his last breath, possibly on this very spot. Are these bullet holes? Thank you. Floyd's body was brought here to the Sturgis Funeral Home. It was embalmed and a death mask was made. Years and years later, in the 90s, this was a bed and breakfast, and the owner actually had the death mask on display. Unfortunately, the bed and breakfast is long since out of business, but we're going to see if we can still find the death mask at the East Liverpool Historical Society. And this is Floyd's death mask. This was a direct imprint of the man's face, hours after he died. It's actually on display at the city police station, of all places.